moves and no backing down. Anything else could trigger a reaction she really, really did not want. She stared back at him. Hazel. His eyes had been hazel. Once. Now they were slivers of hazel, broken by red and gray veins, as if the irises sat in a pool of smoke-covered spiderwebs. At the bottom of the hill, when he'd pulled that feral off her and gotten her and Schroddie away from the pack that had come swarming out from beneath the overpass, she thought she'd seen something more in those eyes. Some sort of recognition of their shared cause. Some understanding. She'd seen it again when she'd slammed her bat into the ferals outside, driving them off him and giving them both a chance to reach the bunker. Now, however, there was something entirely different in his eyes. Something hungry. Come on, Gray. Her voice broke and his head twitched, lowered, too close, far too close for comfort. Don't scream. Do not scream. She tried to keep her voice steady, but it refused to stop wavering. Please, back up. Oh, for fuck's sake. Pleading with the zombie was a terrible plan. Schroddie shifted from her side, his shoulder moving from her hip as he stuck his head between them, then wriggled his entire giant body in the sliver of space between her and Gray. The dog lifted his head and huffed at the zombie. Jane's heart dropped to her boots. It hadn't been a friendly huff. The sound edged in the beginning of a growl. Schroddie put his rear to Jane, shoving her back with his hindquarters and facing Gray, a protective hunch to his back. Shit. Not good. Her breath tripped over the icy block of fear that solidified in her chest. In all the time Gray had followed them, her dog had never once barked at Gray, hadn't ever reacted to the zombie the way he had to every other feral they'd gotten close to. That alone had given her the confidence to accept Gray's help getting across the bridge, to pick up her bat and go rescue her zombie. And she had. Then she'd brought him inside a bunker, into an enclosed space, and forced a change in their dynamic. Change the environment, change the behavior. All her training, and she hadn't even considered that possibility. Not even when he'd latched onto her arm and not let go. She'd simply been grateful he wasn't fighting her rescue, maybe a little comforted by the insane strength of his grip. Schroddie shoved her another step back. Gray's gaze dropped from her face, head tipped down toward the dog, his eyes narrowed, and the upper edge of his lip twitched. Was that a snarl? Oh, hell no. This zombie was not starting shit with her dog. If it came to it, she'd get her bat back and shove his not-dead ass out of this bunker. Back off, she told him, channeling as much of the voice of command as she could muster. It wasn't her best effort. I mean it. Take charge, Jane. Be the boss of this pack. She sucked in a deep breath and forced her shoulders back. Without taking her eyes off the zombie, she reached for Schroddie's collar and tugged until the Great Dane was once again at her side. Keeping hold of her dog, she waited for Gray to look up. When those shattered eyes once again met hers, she dug deep and made herself stand strong. She'd damned well stare back. Mouth firm, gaze unflinching. Her body language would be his first warning and his last. There would be no contest here. If it came down to a zombie who'd helped her a couple times and the dog she loved more than anything, then that zombie had to go. You back off. She cleared her throat and pushed her face right into his space, close enough for their noses to touch. Her voice lowered, firmed. This is my territory. My dog and I are not food. Schroddie is not food, and he is absolutely the boss of you. Gray blinked once. Was that a good sign? God, she hoped so. Since she was close enough to manage it, she jabbed his stomach with her forefinger from the arm he was still holding. Holy shit, were his abs actual marble? The dude was stupid cut, and she really did not want to have to fight that many steely muscles.